So we're on the last thing here. We're going to talk about anti-imperialist. And so here we go. Now, there did exist some people who said we were being too overzealous, I guess you would call it. And so this is Teddy Roosevelt. He's considered an imperialist president. We have the big stick, etc. And so anti-imperialists are against imperialism because they said it denied democracy. That we went over there saying, oh yes, we're all for democracy, and then we denied them democracy. Now, a cartoon that popped up in a Case 21 or something a few years ago was this one here. And so you have imperialism, and we're being wrapped up, Uncle Sam, in imperialism by the Philippines, and we'll talk about that maybe going a little bit further. Now, what is the heart of democracy? Democracy at its heart is giving people self-sovereignty, giving them the ability to rule, and giving them freedoms. Anti-imperialists said that if we go over there as a country, they can't fully rule themselves, and we're not giving them the right to do so. And so that is wrong. Now, some notable members, and they just have here, who are members of the Anti-Imperialist League, as it was called. And so you can see all these different things, right? I got there. So, some notable members we have here are Mark Twain, wrote The Gilded Age. He is a member of Anti-Imperialist. We have Andrew Carnegie and Jane Addams, all people that we talked about in The Gilded Age, who pop up again here and say, hey, this is not right. It's not about God and gold and glory. It's denying democracy. So right here, you need to be able, at the end of this little video, you should be able to explain the shift of Washington to Monroe. How do we go from isolationism to Monroe Doctrine? Explain the Monroe Doctrine. We had a ton of political cartoons there, and hopefully you got that. Describe the excuses for imperialism. Hint, the 3 G's, right? And describe the battle for Hawaii. How did that go down, and why was that such a maybe a horrible thing? And lastly, describe the anti-imperialist and list their goals. What was their reason in doing this? Why were they so against imperialism? But there's that.